Rebel forces in Syria have toppled the government after seizing control of the country's capital. People took to the streets of Damascus to celebrate the end of the Assad regime, which had ruled Syria for decades. President Bashar Assad has reportedly fled the country. His oust comes after almost 14 years of civil war and follows a lightning offensive by the rebel coalition. Syria's prime minister says the government is ready to hand over its functions to a transitional body.
I think it'd be pretty foolhardy to try and predict which way this is going to go. It's reassuring to hear some of the words that are coming out of the leader, Abu Muhammad al-Jilani, the leader of HTS, when he stated as well, you mentioned it, but he also stated in earlier that the, quote, public institutions will remain under the supervision of the existing prime minister. That's important. An 18-month transition period is important as well. So the best case is we see the formation of this interim government, that they get assistance from their Arab neighbors, that they can begin rebuilding the nation, and that some of the 12 million refugees, 6 million of which are outside of the country and another 6 million are internally displaced, get to move home.
A week ago, last Sunday, President Assad was meeting with Iran's foreign minister in Damascus. At that time, things seemed to be somewhat stable. Behind the scenes, there were these concerns that within Syria, the security apparatus was slowly falling apart. There was disillusionment amongst the ranks of the Syrian military. They weren't being paid on time. They weren't getting resources. And there looked like extra additional momentum, whether it was by jihadist groups like HTS or the Kurdish factions. They sensed an opportunity. They sensed weaknesses in the Assad regime, and they took that chance in the last few days.
In a video posted online, the Prime Minister of Syria says he is not fleeing his country and is hoping instead to work with the new opposition group. Ottawa, meanwhile, is urging Canadians to avoid all travel to Syria in the wake of the government's collapse. An updated travel advisory says Canadians who are already in the country should consider leaving if it's safe to do so. That advisory is warning of an increased threat of terrorism, arbitrary detention, torture, and forced disappearance. The federal government says the security situation in Syria is volatile, and major airports are closed as well as some border crossings.